Hello, my friend. I'm glad to see you made it. We've gathered here today in the name of Jesus Christ. Glory be to God, He's alive. I'd like to welcome you today to the Gospel Hour with David. Although today we're not necessarily studying the Gospel or the Bible, but I want to talk about coming up with a formula. I really feel like there's people out there that have a clear agenda and a clear motive, not only to destroy Christianity, but our faith and belief system in God and Jesus Christ and any other type of religion that may be out there. I'm responding to Matt Dillahunty, uh, some of his stuff. He could be a good man, or he could be one of the most dangerous men in America. And the ability to share an idea, begin an idea, has power, especially if you can do that with authority. And I feel that Matt Dillahunty, and if I'm not spelling your name or pronouncing your name right, forgive me. I'm not a smart or intelligent person. I'm just a goat roper.
Actually, you're really smart.
somebody wants to disagree with me.
I'm not.
But I know that Matt was a believer, a Baptist, Southern Baptist, fundamentalist believer, a pastor type guy, and at some point in life decided he didn't want to believe anymore. He had a great awakening, whatever, and God is no longer viable or real and never existed, and he's out to debunk the Bible, debunk religion, and the case for God. Now, he has a lot of power and authority because basically, with having the great understanding that he has of the Bible, religion, the law, and he clearly says that natural law may be overweighing the law of supernatural, and because supernatural has no evidence of there being it. So basically, he is taking it upon himself, and he's talking to the right people. See, he's going into these colleges and talking to these young 21, 22, 23-year-old men and women. And these people come out of a public school system which denies the existence of God and then goes right in and gives them, through a philosophical mindset with reasoning and logic as a foundation, to discredit all religion, and not just that, but God Himself. And so he's going to the right people. He's gathering a large enough crowd that basically he, like Elijah in the Old Testament and the old stories of the Bible, has challenged God. And he has a call-in television show that anybody could call in, and basically that's why I'm making this video and recording, is I'm practicing. Yeah, man, if you want to be a champion, you must, at some point in life, get in the ring with another champion. It has to be done, and that's just life. And as for me, I have that evidence. He's saying, if you have faith or in God, and why do you have faith? Produce some sort of evidence that God exists and what you're believing in is good for your well-being. How do you know it's God? How do you know it's not the devil or whatever? How do you know it's not just some crazy hallucination or fantasy or been influenced by something outside of God's influence? But he's calling God into court. He's saying in Elijah's day, here's me and my atheist partners and buddies, and if you don't call down right now in front of us, we're challenging you to call on God and have God manifest Himself right now, basically in our reality, provide the evidence. And if you can't, then we're gonna slaughter you. Same with Elijah. If you can't provide the evidence, well, we will slaughter you. Right? Maybe not physically, not saying the guy's violent or nasty in that way, but slaughter your faith, slaughter your belief, slaughter your foundation in what you thought you may have believed was a God. So I'm saying, and why I'm making this video, there must be a formula to decipher what it is that we can trust in and what we can't trust in, what is fact and what is fiction. There must be a formula, and I myself believe in not just a God, but I believe Jesus Christ is God. Why did I come up with that? Did I go to church? Did I read the Bible and just decide, hey, today I'm going to believe in God? Well, no, that's not how it happened. I'd like to tell you that's how it happened, but in reality it wasn't. I didn't want to be denied of the truth. I wanted to know the truth with all of my heart, mind, and soul. I did not want to be lied to. I just wanted to know the truth. So one thing is what's motivating our heart. So if there's a formula or some sort of a criteria by which we could follow to be able to create wisdom or discernment, the difference between right and wrong, good or evil, false or lie, or fiction, truth, what deciphers this, and what do we use as a measure to measure these things? Say, for an example, murder, right? As us as a people, as a society, how do we determine a murder has happened? Just an allegory here, right? First thing, what do we need to determine a murder happened? Well, first thing we need what? A dead body, right? We need a missing person or a dead body. And if we got a dead body, that's great. We can prove, one, that somebody's dead. But how do we prove it's a murder? First, we got to find out if that dead body was violated or hurt or broken from some sort of an outside source, whether murder weapon or whatever. If we could determine that, there's a formula which is being followed in order to, we need witness, right? Did you witness this person or see this person create this murder or do this act of violence or whatever it is? Did you see this person have the murder weapon on them? Or whatever it be. We have witnesses and they provide a testimony and all this, and we just start gathering these evidence. So this guy is saying you have no evidence for your God. He's basically calling God into court. Here in this world, in this life, in this reality, at this moment in time, some 2,000 years after Jesus. And everybody in the world's been saying for 2,000 years, Jesus Christ is coming and coming soon, and where is Christ? And this guy takes it upon himself to say, all that religious stuff, all that church stuff, and all that Christian stuff is a bold-faced lie. Now, me in my life, I really never questioned whether or not God was a liar. I believe once I was baptized in the Holy Spirit, or once I come to completion in my belief and my faith in what God called me to do, I began to see with the new eyes and hear with new ears and think in a different way. And one of those things is when I went to church, it wasn't that God didn't exist. Faith didn't exist, or belief didn't exist. Trust didn't exist. The people there in the church didn't believe, in my eyes, in my opinion, that God exists. And maybe that's what Matt's saying, is that the evidence God doesn't exist is you guys don't believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, why would I? Or why should I? And I've seen the same thing as people claim, and that there's hundreds of millions of Christians spread around all across the United States of America, and I say the evidence that people don't believe in God is there is no health care, because one of the things about God is very attentive to our well-being. And we say, well, where is this well-being? When we ourselves are in the midst of war and famine and poverty and homelessness and all that. And it's not that God doesn't care about our well-being. It's kind of like, do we care about our well-being? God says, I believe God says, I do care about your well-being. But the evidence that nobody believes that God cares about our well-being is in America, we don't have health care. We have an insurance system, and some people say that the right to abortion should be right, that we should be able to choose. And no fetus should be able to have the right to live by sucking the life out of somebody else, or whatever it may be, at the expense of another person. But yet we're here in our world, and if you were born, your life is being sustained at the expense of another person. Every doctor, every nurse, and every insurance salesman, and every government official, and everybody, that their lives are determined at the expense of another person. It's enforcing their will upon your will. So a part of law and order and God and God's will, our will, free will, all these things must be brought in as court and evidence. So if we're going to say, is God real or not real, and we're going to bring God into court, we're going to have a lawyer, and we're going to have a prosecutor and the defense. And I don't know which side I'm on. Am I defending God, or am I prosecuting? And am I prosecuting the unbeliever? Or has Matt or some other people decided to be the prosecutor, and they're going to prosecute God? Where's the evidence? And usually the prosecutor, right, is the one who is supposed to supply the evidence, right? The defendant says, well, I defend my cause by zipping my lip, and you prove I've committed a crime, or you prove whatever it is, your statement is more true than my statement. I say I'm innocent. You say I'm guilty, so your burden of proof is to the prosecution. Matt Dillahunty says that it is our burden to prove God's existence. And that's the thing, I guess, why I'm here at this time and this reality and this existence at the very same time as this other person is calling in a nationwide search for anybody to prove or provide evidence of God, or some sort of a formula which we all could follow in being able to determine, is what we experienced real or not real. To 1994, right? I have an experience. I had a vision from the Lord, right? And at that time and at this day, I don't know. I always said then that an angel of the Lord gave me a vision, or met with me, or talked to me. And why did I say an angel of the Lord? Well, an angel is a messenger from heaven, and I had no idea at that time what the heck was going on. I, at that time, was not even seeking God. I didn't care if God really, I as a child, was born into religion and told there was a Jesus and a God and believed these things, and it's real and all that. But I myself had no evidence, and as a little boy I began to pray, and one of the things I began to pray as a 7-year-old little boy was I wanted to be a disciple like Jesus Christ, or the disciples of Jesus Christ, just like them. I prayed for many years, all the way till I was probably 10, 11 years old, and my prayer, secret, in my room where nobody could hear but me and God, was one day I want Lord, Father, God, if you exist, I want to be the wisest man on earth. In the same way, Solomon in his day is known as one of the wisest men. I'm not smart, I'm not a genius like, Stephen Hawkins or any of that, and I still debate and wonder how genius was Stephen Hawkins. He says he's can't move from his wheelchair and his brain doesn't even function well enough to shit in the toilet. He's just crapping in his own pants all day. Somebody else has to feed him, and he says, well, since I can't move my body, I guess some computer-generated voice that I'm supposed to believe is his voice, his mind, and I okay, if it is, okay. Never leave my wheelchair or my house or my shit-filled pants, but I'm gonna travel in my mind throughout the entire universe, and I'm gonna prove creation, and it's a load of crap. Not a bit of evidence, a theory, but not a bit of evidence. Now you could say my faith in Jesus Christ is a theory and has not a bit of evidence. So we got to have some sort of formula, some sort of a system, and able to determine what happened was real. So 1994, after making these prayers, does God answer your prayers? Yes, God answers all my prayers. Every one. He says, or the angel of the Lord comes, and this is the thing, I'm having a complete conversation just like we're having right now between me and some kind of an entity or something. I didn't see the angel of the Lord. What I saw in the vision was a man or somebody that I thought was like Jesus Christ. The person was 10 foot tall, bigger than life, and then all the human beings and people in life were all coming together and said, that's Jesus, let's go, we gotta touch Jesus, and everybody's gathering to touch Jesus. But as I'm watching this and hearing the people speak, wasn't like Jesus or this figure, this 10-foot tall man turned around to me and began speaking to me. I hear a voice. You say, well, it is your own voice or a voice in your own head. That's schizophrenia or madness or whatever. I don't know. Well, I'm thinking we're having a conversation like this. I'm talking to the thing. I'm asking questions. It's answering my questions. And it's not answering my questions in a way I want them to be answered. Angel of the Lord, or this voice says, one day you're going to tell the world Jesus is coming. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You came to the wrong house. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little freaked out. Like, no. And at that time in my life, very quiet man. Many situations which kind of clammed me up. I had fear of public and being a subject to public shame, different things. Very quiet. Hey, why would God ask me to go tell the world? Because if God wanted people to know he was coming, why would he ask me? Because nobody's going to listen to me. No one. I'm not educated. I'm not smart enough. I don't know how to speak. I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. No. And the angel of the Lord, or this voice, says, no, but you will do it. You will do it, and Jesus has chosen you. I said, no. I think you're at the wrong house. You go tell Jesus. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. The angel of the Lord says, I'm not going to tell Jesus that. I would never tell Jesus no. Won't do it. But if you want to tell Jesus no, you tell Jesus no on your own. But you will do it. He has chosen you. And I said, but nobody's going to listen to me. Why would you? Don't you want this to be known? And it's all right. We know this is going to be exactly like the days of Noah. They're going to be eating and drinking and living their lives as though they were living their lives every day and have been every day. But you do it anyway. I was like, well, what do I do? I don't even know where to start. You figure out what John the Baptist did. And you do that, and you'll be fine. Figure out what happened there in John the Baptist. Not figure out follow Jesus Christ, but John the Baptist says, don't cut your hair. Don't shave your beard. Why? I don't know. Don't buy homes. Don't buy cars. Don't get trapped into this world. Don't buy anything. Just kind of stay away from the things and the love of things. You'll be fine. You're going to go through a walk or through this journey, through a wilderness. I guess. And when you come out to the end of this wilderness, I will be there to meet you. And I'll meet you at the top of a mountain. Told me not to get married, not to have children. He says, don't worry. When I come back and meet you, I'll tell you what to say then. But for now, you learn and figure out what John the Baptist did. Who was he? The vision stops. Jesus, leaves. Wherever he came from. I don't know. I gotta admit, I was partying that night. We were messed up. I was with a friend, my cousin. You say, wow, you got an eyewitness. No, I don't. Because just as much as I believe we were talking now, and I was talking to that angel, first thing I did was I stand up and we were, after a night of partying and drinking, laying on the couch, ready to pass out. Right now, a light comes into the room and I noticed how beautiful the light was, and a voice says, look at how pretty the light is. And I look and I begin to notice something strange. And then when I hear the voice, but after it's all done, my cousin is sitting there and I say, hey, can you believe that? We're going to go tell the world that Jesus Christ is coming. And he's like, what? What? You ain't been sitting here talking to nobody. There's no angels. You're idiot. You're drunk. You're out of your mind. I'm sitting right here and there's no that thing happened. What? I said, but it did happen. I was talking. Did you hear? No. Full of shit. You're drunk. No. Yeah, when we came home, I was drunk, but right now I'm not feeling drunk. I'm straight. It took me like 5 days to figure out. Is that evidence? Right? Takes me 5 days to just kind of come to grips with it, and then finally I tell my mom, with your 20-year-old man, and what are you going to do, right? Who are you going to go to and say, hey, this experience, something happened in my life, and I don't know how to explain it. That time in my life, I believed in Jesus, but the only thing I knew about Jesus really was anything people had taught and preached. I wasn't a Bible scholar. I didn't know much about John the Baptist. He baptized Jesus. And the whole rest of the story is about Jesus. There's one paragraph about John the Baptist, right? But actually, there's many paragraphs about John the Baptist all throughout the Bible. I myself, that wasn't good enough, right? That wasn't for me. Wasn't enough. I didn't get up that day and go out and never shave. I did grow my hair and I did stop shaving. There was a time I had nice, long, flowing, beautiful hair like a stallion, right? And I got old. And I shaved my head and all these different things. And I can tell you that any of the instructions, the angel or the vision, any of the one, I didn't follow none. Because I didn't believe it. I wanted to. Wasn't sure. I needed evidence. I needed evidence for myself. Tell my mom what kind of happened, and she's like, wow, that's, when is it coming, right? And I remember asking the angel, when is this going to happen? And the angel of the Lord said, no, I cannot tell you that. Nobody knows. but only God himself. But this I will tell you, when God tells Jesus to go, he will go. And all the angels and all the hosts and all his holy ones go with him. All Jesus needs is the command, and he will go. So I don't know when. Whenever it's done, the last day. The last day will obviously be the day. And another thing, one of the things the Bible says, it's a day of darkness, a day of unbelief. That's when Christ will return. And nobody believes it anymore. Jesus came first time, whether you want to believe in it or not. He came in a point in time, according to the Bible, when nobody believed. Nobody. Mom says, gotta go to the pastor, right? Logical thinking. Well, if you had an experience with God, you gotta go to the people who know God. You gotta go to church, and you gotta go to the pastor. And yeah, for our 20 years of our lives, we were faithful followers or goers to St. James Presbyterian Church there in Littleton, Colorado, and went there. Mom, Dad, or so involved in the church. They're doing the children's program and different things. And I got baptized there when I was 12 years old. Mom and Dad said, you were baptized as a baby, right? That's a big Catholic thing. Being baptized as a baby. You're fine. You're good. You don't need baptized. You're good. In my spirit, in my mind, in my body, I said, I'm not good. I must follow the instructions of Jesus Christ. He said, be baptized. I must do it. Go to a Presbyterian church, and they take a little water, dip it in the thing. Good. Like a joke. It was. No, I can't do this. I got to be fully immersed. Like John the Baptist, right? He fully immersed people. Fully immersed them in the water. I seen the Jesus movie. He went under. You got to put me under. Got to be just like Jesus. We're going to be the disciples of Jesus Christ. We got to we got to follow him. No, you don't got to do none of that. Here, a little water. Good. So anyway, 20, I have this experience, go back to the church and talk to the pastor. He's 70 years old back there at that time, Al Hammer. And I'm talking to Al, and I tell him all about it, and Al says, well, that is an extraordinary story. Well, you've been a pastor for how long? He said, I've been a pastor for 40-some years of my life. Started out as a Lutheran, then went to a Methodist church. And from the Methodist church, I went to the Baptist church. And from the Baptist church, came to Presbyterian church. I've been baptized by 15 times. I said, well, have you ever met anybody that's had a similar story to this? Do you know anybody that's ever met an angel of the Lord or had a message from God or some kind of this experience or vision? He says, you're the only one. I've never met anybody that's ever made such a claim as you have made. And in fact, the only people that I know that have ever made a claim like you have made are the people in the Bible. Well, Jesus says, I'm going to tell the world that he's coming. I guess in logical thinking, who are the people that tell the world Jesus is coming? The pastor. I got to be like the pastor, right? So pastor, how did you become the pastor? Did God call you and say to you, Al, I want you to be the pastor? No, never heard the voice of God. No. I just thought in my heart and my mind that it would be a good fit for me. It would be a good job. I like it. Where do I start? I don't know. So this is the religious leader, the community leader of the community, leader of your spiritual life, your eternal life, of your salvation, a leader of a person who's trying to connect you to God, and says, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? It's your job to know, right? I never met nobody like this before. Like you, I ain't gonna tell you what to do. Says the only thing I can tell you is if that was from God, if that was an angel from God, you must obey everything they told you. You follow the Holy Spirit, he said. He will guide you wherever you need to go. But I'm not giving you any advice. I'm not going to give you any advice. Stop going to church. Right there. Visited church a few times and throughout my life, but basically stopped going. Go find God out here in the wilderness, out here in the world, out here outside of church, outside of the synagogues.
You're the church.
She said, I'm the church.
That's right.
I said, you're the church.
You're the church.
Each one of us are the church. Each one of us
right.
are the
It's
temple.
not a building. Right?
That's right. Later in life, 2012, and I could tell you about all the times and all the evidence God has provided me. I could make this video go for hours. But some of the evidence God gave me, I believe in God because of the evidence He gave me, and and the fact I wouldn't take no for an answer. I wanted to know, is this the truth? Can't just go out telling the world that God is coming, Jesus is coming, without any authority, without any, paper or diploma or something. Who's going to believe me? And of course, nobody believes me. Doesn't matter. Go back in 2012, I hear the voice of Jesus, and I was under a traumatic experience, or I was going through a lot of trauma. Have an ex-wife died, the mother of my son dies, my son finds the mother's dead body. Everything about it is very traumatic. Wow. You had nothing left to do but believe in God. Yeah, you're darn right. Backed me to the corner. I, like many people, maybe like Matt, and said, where are you, God? Of course, before that death, 2011, it all begins in motion. It all began to go into motion. To get me here to you, to speak, to maybe meet Matt Dillihunte without saying it was by chance, or an accident, or random. And maybe it was God's design. Many things were happening. Pastor of the church, this is how it kicked it off, kind of. As I'm wrestling with God, I'm wrestling with men, I'm wrestling with faith, I'm wrestling with everything in my mind. Having a meltdown, basically. This pastor, and I go back to the same church. I've only been to one church in all my life. Go back to that same church. I hadn't been there for many years. But my life is crumbling. Lose my job. Of course, like everybody on earth, thank God in heaven I lost my job. They fired me, finally. But it was the months leading up to that of me praying and this plague and this drive in my heart. Did that angel come, or am I really going to go tell the world? And then if God's going to do this, He's going to open a door and He's going to make it happen. I don't have to do anything to make it happen. God's going to do it all for me, right? Believe that. Pastor says, question God. I was one of those guys. You never question God. You only trust Him. You only believe. Never question. In fact, I was insulted that the guy said, question God. It's like in my heart, like, who's this guy think he is? Question God. That's like a lack of faith. That's defeats the purpose. Go back the next week. It says again, question God. Put your question, one question. Everybody in church, come on, guys. One question. If you have one question you wanted to ask God, ask it, write it down, put it in the tithe basket or the offering basket, and at the end of the month, we're going to begin a new series going through the next month. Every question. We're going to go through all questions in the Bible. Or not the Bible, but your questions. And answer. Here I am, a man wrestling with a vision I had 20 years ago. Am I going to go tell the angel of the Lord and give me instructions and God chose you and can't say no and question God. At this moment in my life, he could have asked 10 years ago and it wouldn't have been nothing 5 years ago. Now? So, reluctantly, but because I had respect for preachers and pastors and reverends, respect for the wisdom, respect for the knowledge. This guy must know God, must know what he's doing. Whether I agree with him or not, I'm going to write my question down. I only got one. 1994, did you visit me? Did you come? Was that experience real? Was that the devil? What was it? And all of a sudden, I didn't put my question in there, offering. Instead, I came home, put the question in my Bible, got on my knees, and said, I surrender. God, is this real? Was that day real? Was that vision real? Is this going to happen? Am I going to do that? And this was an event that plagued me 20 years of my life, of my mind. No matter what was happening, that's what I was thinking about. That day, that event. Is this real? Only I'm asking now in a place of urgency, anguish. God, you answer me or I'm done. I'm not going to pray again. I'm not going to believe again. I'm walking away and I'm not turning back. God, this is the time. If I am your son, if I am a loved one, if I am one of those whom you wish to save, you got to answer. And now is the time. It must be now. My life was falling apart. And at that time, little time goes by, my birthday comes. September 8th. 8th day. It's born. I'm standing on the top of a mountain. We're 10,000 feet. And all of a sudden, we're elk hunting, right? That's why we were there. And the day before we got an elk, this night, it's my birthday, the night of my birthday, we're sitting around the fire. Got Grandpa, my son, and myself. And we began telling my son out of nowhere, I don't even know why, telling him the story, but began to prepare him for what I believe was the future. Didn't know what the future held, but began to speak about dead bodies and what it was like to touch a dead body, what it was like to see a dead body. We're not talking about the death of an animal, but the death of a human. It's bizarre. 5 days later, September 22nd or whatever, about a week later, his mother dies. Now I could tell you all the story behind his mom and all the things that were happening that summer as I was coming to a place in the beginning of I'm really thinking that Jesus called me. And I can't have peace or rest in my own heart or mind unless I fulfill my destiny. Well, anyway, it was the very day she dies, right? We're all having a family hug, and mom's screaming and crying, sisters screaming and crying, son screaming and crying, my dad's crying. We got, it's a madhouse, and I'm full of love, and full of adrenaline, and full of bewilderment, confusion, and all of it I'm trying to process it. I'm in the midst of this giant hug, and like I say that because it happened just like that, just like pow, like a bolt of lightning. I hear the voice of Jesus Christ. David, do you feel how much I love you? Right now, do you feel how much you love your son? Do you feel how much you love your mother? Do you feel how much you love your father and your ex-wife and everybody? And yet, he didn't say your mother, your father, your son, and your ex-wife. He called each person by name. David, do you know how much I love? Do you feel how much you love them? That's how much I love you. Me. You. Again, I'm the only person hearing this voice. Nobody else is hearing it. That's how much I love you. From the depths of your soul. That's how much I love you. I have a soul, says Jesus. From the depths of my soul. That's how much I love you. If I love you that much, don't you think I love them as well? The world as well? Those people out there as well? That much? That much? Yes, Lord. Surely you do. I have heard their prayers. Tell them how much I love them. Tell them I've heard their prayers. Tell them I'm coming soon. Yes, Lord. From that day forward, that's what I did. Got on Facebook, and that's where I started, and on Facebook, and typed, and never was a typer, had problems with dyslexia, problems with reading, didn't even know, but now I'm focused, right? Got a new focus in life when God talks to you. Now I'm typing and just trying to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ so much, I'm typing my fingers off, and then I'm gonna, this ain't gonna work. So then I began to make the videos, and again, I could tell you about the whole story behind many different events, many different visions, and many different things that God has been unveiling to me all for this time. And I'm not here to say that I'm not here to glorify myself. I don't care if I'm famous or any of that stuff. I'm here for you. I'm here so that you can believe in God, so that you can have peace, so that you can have rest, so that you can follow these formula, these steps or criteria, and proving to yourself that what you've experienced or whatever visions you have seen, or dreams you've had are real or not real. And today I'm just kind of going through a little introduction of my evidence, and I got more evidence. That's just my word, right? That's not evidence. And none of those experiences are evidence, right? Is that a reliable source of evidence? You don't even have a witness, not even the people sitting next to you. That was the great fight. And my cousin heard every word in 1994, every word that the angel said, just like I did. I wouldn't have had to wrestle with doubt or God or men. I would have ran and did my job running. But because he didn't hear. So I had to come up with a way, and I don't know, maybe God provided that guide or formula. I could take the experiences I had and compare them to the experiences that people in the Bible had, and you say, well, those people aren't real either. Well, it's not necessarily true, because somehow the word appeared. How did it appear and who wrote it and all that, nobody really knows. And how did it get here? We know how this Bible or our Bible got here, but where did the book of Isaiah come from? What other evidence do you have? Well, I got Isaiah 55. And this is the thing with why I want to meet or speak with Matt Dilihanty, is because you call God in this particular time to manifest himself. And I was called by Jesus Christ and sent by Jesus Christ to tell the people a message about his love and his faithfulness. Isaiah 55 writes about me. How did Isaiah write about me over 2,000 years ago? Before Jesus. You say, I don't want to believe in Jesus. Fine. No, whatever. Okay. I want you to believe in Jesus. I want you to believe in God. But I'm telling you, I'm here to... And why am I here? To fulfill my destiny. Fulfill God's command. God commanded this to happen. And I'm here to fulfill those words. Isaiah 55. God called me to be a witness. I am one witness, and you are the other witness. There it is, written in the Bible, and here I am, and here you are, and it's not only written there, it's Acts chapter 15, another group of people. And in Acts chapter 15, they say it is God's will that in the last days, he's going to rebuild the fallen tent of David, the fallen tabernacle, the fallen body. I got video evidence from 2013, from the very first time I say hello or I'm telling the world Jesus is coming. And I look at him going, whoa, who the hell is that guy? Where'd he come from? Not me, but it is me. And that was me at the beginning of coming out of a fallen state. A fallen man. A broken person. And then there's me today. You can change your behavior. That is not evidence of God and all that. But God was the motivation. I remember when I went to the pastor and telling the pastor, hey, my life is crumbling around me. I've lost my job. I had this vision of the Lord back in 1994 and plagued me in my mind, whether it was real or not. Wife died a few days ago, or an ex-wife, mother of child, died a few days ago. Life really sucks right now. And I'm talking to the pastor in a private meeting, and he's like, well, that's interesting. Again, this is, your spiritual leader, the leader of your community. Somebody said they believed in Jesus Christ. God. And I'm sorry to hear about your wife. You know what you should do? This is his answer to, basically, I'm telling him the same story I'm telling you. Go tell the homeless. Dude, tell you my life's falling apart. Somebody that meant dearly to us just passed away. We're going through a hard time. And your response is go tell the homeless? And I said, but that's not what Jesus commanded me. Jesus told me to tell everybody. One of the things that was daunting to me was, how do you tell the whole world when you're one man? You're just one drip in the giant ocean. How do you tackle the world? I said, hey, God didn't tell me to go tell the homeless. He told me to tell everybody. Right? This is a church you go to for 20 years, and he's like, well, I don't want anybody in our church to know you talk to God. Or rather, God talked to you. That was like puzzling to me. One, you don't even care what situation I'm going through. You're treating me less than a human being. I'm like, what, a robot? Go tell the homeless? Because what I've gathered from the Bible and the teachings of Jesus Christ are the poor are rich in God, rich in faith. The poor. And you want me to go tell the poor about God, who are rich in God? I think I should be telling you the message. I think I should be telling all these people sitting here who don't believe in God the message. Providing the evidence. You're a nutball, this guy, basically. Get out of here. Crazy. Even to this day, he probably thinks I'm a demon. Ask him. Same question I asked Al 20 years ago. When you became a pastor, did God say to you, and his name was Wayne, Wayne, I want you to be a pastor? No. Never heard the voice of God. Nobody called me. I just thought it would be a good idea, a good fit for my life. He said, but I've been called by God. And he, like Matt, where's the evidence? Surely if God called you, he would have told me. Right? Where's the evidence? And my thing was, if God did talk to me, why would you be ashamed of me? Why would you be even hesitate for me to speak to anybody? Why would you want to try and muffle my voice? I had a fight with that. No, that's the thing. As Matt says, there ain't no God, and there ain't no evidence of God. Well, I say there is a God, and there's plenty of evidence of God. What I'm saying is there ain't no faith or believers in the God they say they know or believe in. And the evidence is, something's weird. Like, for me, following Jesus Christ, an angel of the Lord came to me and told me that I need to wash people's feet. And we've had debate about this. And I'm not bringing it up for any other reason than the angel of the Lord said, you need to do this. And you need to do this out of honor and respect for Jesus Christ. His word, Him choosing you. It's about Jesus. And you need to honor and respect Him. And you need to wash feet. Jesus said, if you do this, you will be blessed. And Jesus washes the feet of everybody. And He says, do this, and you will be blessed. So one of the things, like blessings and things, like there's a formula you must follow. And as Jesus says, when you begin putting these things to practice, everything to practice, then the blessings come. And what are the blessings?